With time, a seed becomes a tree, sheltering us. With time, a skill becomes a talent, empowering us. With time, a technology becomes a tool, enhancing us. By nature, time gives value to almost everything, yet the very thing our society gives value to, our money, loses value over time. This paradox warps our reality by defying the laws of nature, and it stems from the belief that $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow, meaning money must always lose value. We built our reality off of this model. Time value of money, we call it, but in reality, this is just dogma. Since we can keep making more of it, we end up destroying our own purchasing power. So we put it in stocks, put it in bonds, put it in land, put it in funds, put it in crypto, put it in gold. But we are not oracles, so what do we know? We know that it's hard to get by. We know some people may never retire. Is time value of money a lie since it discounts the monetary value of our time? If time is money, how are they moving in different directions? We're working longer for less, we end up just giving away our freedom. Give up liberty for policies, give up our agency to the authorities. Because when our foundation is built on complexity, we simplify humans by giving up our humanity. Reality check, we've strayed too far from the truth. The world economy's a wreck when 1 + 1 no longer equals to 2. And if life's created from the truth, along the way something got screwed. And we let our own dogma subjectify value. We divorce action from consequence. We defy the law of physics. We make scarcity infinite. We disregard the language of mathematics. So our systems are built in a fallacy. Our society's based in a fantasy. In the absence of truth, we're living in the shadows of our own reality. And that's the root problem. Man-made rules can be broken. As our trust crumbles, so does the progress of our civilization. But one thing remains constant: no one can cheat nature. So why not use it to architect a stronger base layer? The most beautiful buildings engineered based on these consequences. Natural law drives rigor needed to build something enduring, uncompromising on principles that accounts for the flaws. Because when our lives are at stake, the gravity of truth cannot be ignored. So if our monetary systems were designed like structures, it would embody energy and matter, so the money itself matters. An unbreakable limit enforced by costliness of creation ensures the structure holds value for many generations. A rule-based system, governed by maths, builds a transparent ecosystem that can self-error correct. With no one in charge, no words are taken as fact. Only work from computation can actualize truth of timestamps, and like water flowing off a cliff down the path of gravity, computational energy makes time flow one way only. It is this irreversibility which gives value to our money by upholding consensus and scarcity to create one shared reality. Now the map is the territory. Now we're working with high fidelity. Now money is truthfully time and energy bound by finality. Now we have the ability to manifest each of our dreams and build a world that is much more reflective of all of our needs. And that's the purpose of money, merely a tool to shape our reality, merely a function to harness and express individuality. It's just a way to live freely, just a means for possibility. Because when we build on integrity, we enhance the beauty of humanity. The most beautiful societies are built from diversity of our thoughts that come to life when we're empowered individually. Because when our money tomorrow is worth more than today, we shift from predicting to creating the future ourselves. And when our money grows in value, we grow thoughtful in how we use it. Natural law drives rigor needed to fund something enduring, something truly worth it, something that pushes the sky's limit, something only possible when our real value and consequence exist in boundless virtual dimensions. Imagine potential creations, fueled by monetary life force, lasting for many generations. We will venture into new territories and unleash these possibilities once we learn to embrace the truth of our reality.
All right, guys, thank you for being here today. So it's been a pretty good day for me. I don't know about everybody else. I know Bitcoin dropped into the day. I'm okay with that personally. I'm still up on the day, thanks to companies like Tesla and PayPal, of all things, and a little bit of DLO. So kind of the oddball crew today. I want to take a moment. I want to take a moment too, just to say something about the people in Venezuela. I hope you guys can take back your country from Maduro, who obviously lost that election. It looks like 2/3 of the vote went to Gonzalez. There's tons of confirmation of that in numerous ways across media and polling stations and just about everything. So I'm really rooting for you guys, and I hope you can do it because it would be nice to see not only El Salvador and Argentina turning into something like a democracy, but it would be awesome to add a third to that list. All right. So making six figures on Tesla, never a bad day. Also, did a little bit of selling today. Sold some Tesla. I actually sold a little bit more. So I talked about selling calls here. Oh wait, that's the wrong day. So I sold. You can see where I sold a number of Tesla calls here, like 3 in this set, 4, 5, 10. It looks like 10 in total calls that I had sold today, and was able to bump up a decent amount of money, like almost 50 grand added to my stack. So I did buy TMF. I talked about doing that. I increased that stack. So you can see that down here. I've got about $66,000 in TMF now, a 3X 20-year TLT fund. And then I did add about almost $20,000 into SoFi because not options. I don't want to play options with SoFi. They're a bank, so they're insolvent by the nature of who they are. Banks don't have money, so there's always risk there. Banks are the riskiest thing you can invest in my opinion. But yeah, so I got a little bit in there too today. And let's just see, what else did I do? PayPal, of course, added to that stack. Tomorrow morning, earnings. I'll be doing a live broadcast starting at about 6:45, 6:50, in case you want to see that and see whether or not I can lose more money on PayPal or if I can start giving the middle finger to people that have been shitting on me about PayPal. That's what I'm hoping for. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow morning. I bought Clean Spark today, only 500 shares, but I'll probably end up buying more. And again, I'm sitting on a decent stockpile now. I consider this TMF to be like my source of funds for cash. So I got 66,000 in cash. That's the first time in a while. So I'm excited about that. Still sitting a little bit over $3 million in my investments. I can't be angry about that either. All right, real quickly, I'm going to get caught up on chat here, and I'm also going to pull up other bookmarks. We will stay away from Kamala for now. We'll save that. This is a market recap. We're going to stay away from that for a second. But yeah, let's go to a few other things here. So economics, commodity super cycle. So the China Beige Book posted this article. It's from Morningstar. It talks about how there was going to be a lot of people, especially the people that are like a lot of people that are pro Bitcoin, Lynn Alden types. I loved Lynn Alden. I loved her book, Broken Money. She's brilliant on some things. Her hatred for Elon Musk makes no sense to me. And I think it slants her worldview. She was expecting a commodity super cycle. These guys at Morningstar were expecting a commodity super cycle. We're not seeing that. We're seeing the exact opposite of that. With oil dropping again today, let's just pull that up. With oil dropping again today by, let's see, almost 1%. Oh, all my charts are fucked up like this. Bugs the shit out of me. Let me update it. So again, this is doing what I said it was going to do, right? We're breaking down. I actually do think we could find support here. If you look here, you can see where we have like previous resistance. You can see where we're getting over sold or close to it on the RSI. So I think we get down to about 75, maybe even the 74 range, all the way down to like the 73. We're going to be finding support in this range. So I think we can meander around here for a while. So I do think we'll find some reprieve. And again, things like gold, I mean, another commodity, right? Taking a hit today. Better fix this chart too. Just fix them all because they're all broken. Thank you, TradingView. So again, this is up 24% over a course of 13 years. One of the shittier returns you could have got in your life. Nothing really exciting here, in my opinion. Let me look at chat real quick, and then we'll talk more here because I got a lot to say today. I've got a lot to say, I think, for the next 4 months. Maytag. Disease Kodak first off says, yeah, hope you and the fam are doing well, bro. We are. I'm doing really well. I have health things I'm trying to figure out, but I think all of it's going to turn out well. And if it doesn't, well then, fuck, whatever. All right, Maytag. If Tesla dips in that range, I'll have to increase June 2026, 330 strikes. I feel underinvested. You probably are. Rambler. Maytag, just curious, do you just have the money for the option call, or do you have the money to buy all those shares? I don't even think I have the money to buy all those shares, but I won't be keeping them. I rarely hold too close. So you can always sell beforehand, and that's the general idea, right? You want to capture all the extrinsic value, not just the intrinsic. You can see that in my Option 101 video. So I'm assuming Maytag's probably similar. Rambler, are you selling the option contract or willing to buy the 100 shares? Yeah, so you're just reiterating. Disease Kodak, probably wasn't a good idea for me to sell that, but all good. Maybe I get a quick morning dip and can buy back. I'm not sure what you sold. Did you sell? Were you selling calls? I sold a call here and bought shares. Oh, okay. All right. Well, good luck, man. I hope it works out. Rambler, for the calls, I have. I had cash in hand, but I can also rotate out of the other stuff. Yeah, and you can always sell early. Nig, PayPal will beat and trade above 65. I think it will. I think it will. I think that, I think Alex Chris is actually pretty brilliant. He did a great job with Intuit for, a long time. And I think they're going to do really good. Could be wrong again, but again, that's why it's not a huge part of my portfolio. But it's an asymmetric bet, and I'll take the 10Xers all day. BT, Yo-Yo Jesse, what up, dude? Can you explain what the news and the influx borrowed SoFi shares means? I don't even know if are you talking about recently? I might not have even seen it. I might do a session, though, with Tanner if he invites me. I'll try not to monopolize his episode. Poo Poo Train, love that fucking name. Hit the fucking likes. Listen to the Poo Poo Train. Hit the likes, guys, please. You help me out greatly. And you also help out, hopefully, other people that can come on here and learn from what we talk about. All right, I'm going to roll down here. Let me see. Market boom, rate cuts, and Bitcoin to 100,000. We got Tom Lee here. I don't know how long this video is, but I did want to check it, and I haven't done it yet. So I'm going to jump into it real quick. We'll see. Might end up fast-forwarding through it. One sec here.
100,000 or even higher is possible. Bitcoin makes moves in very short periods of time. We have published previously for many years showing that Bitcoin makes most of its gains in 10 trading days, if you look at percentage gain. So, those 10 days could all be in the second half of this year.
All right. Fuck that noise and the music. But I do agree with him. I think that we could have a very short period of time. And this is the danger, guys. Let me just throw this out there, especially if you're new to the Bitcoin and crypto world, or just investments that have an asymmetric potential to go very high. Like, again, PayPal could double. The options could go 10x. Tesla could go double, and my options could go 6 to 10x. Bitcoin could double, like, quick in a quarter, right? 2 max. And then some of these other multipliers like the miners and other stuff could do even better. So, but the thing you need to realize is, especially like with Bitcoin, it's not a lot of time in a cycle where you make all the money. It's like less than 70 days out of 4 years where you make 90+% of the gains. So you need to realize that if you're day trading with the expectation of, oh, I'm going to do really good and I'll sell a little bit here and then I'll buy the dip and I'll do I'm going to be a badass. Daniel King, thank you for the 10 memberships. If somebody wants to pick those up, click on that. Thank you, dude. That's really fucking awesome. But realize that if you think you're going to day trade in and out of this and you've got a month or two to do that out of 48, to do it where a month or two are all the gains, right? Like over 90% of the gains, and that's over a period of 48 months. So if you think you're smart enough to just be that badass, then more power to you, son. But I'll take kind of getting near the bottom in the $15,000 to $20,000 range in Bitcoin. I'll take selling a decent chunk at 150K and locking in gains and looking at other investments. I don't day trade this shit. People think because I rebalance and I talk about trading that I'm a day trader. I am not a fucking day trader. I can go weeks or months without trading anything. I rebalance. Have long-term vision. Don't try and place your bets that you can get that 90% gains over the course of 30 to 60 days when the race is 48 months. Okay? You're not as badass as you think you are. So if I could say anything, it's probably that. It's that don't be Meet Kevin. Okay? Don't be Meet Kevin. Meet Kevin thinks that he's a wicked day trader now because he's been doing this for 4.5 fucking years. I've been doing this for like 25 on and off, at least 20 in it. And I didn't even get good until after about 10, close to 15. Okay? So just don't be an idiot. That's the best advice I can offer. Don't be an idiot. That's all you gotta know. Now you're good. All right. Let's see here. This says hedge funds positioning in energy is at the lowest it's been in decades. So again, this is on that whole narrative about the commodity super cycle that Lynn Alden and all these people, all these really fucking smart people that have 10x the number of followers I have that were telling us about, and yet nobody's making this bet right now. And they're all running away from it after telling you that it was going to be here for years and that inflation was going to go up like crazy, right? Yeah, 10 years to get a black belt, right? You got to fucking work. You got to work to be good. And even then you can screw it up. Because timing something that can happen over a total of 60 days for 90% of the gains in 48 months is hard. But yeah, back to this commodity super cycle. So what I'm saying is maybe they worry that energy prices are coming down, right? Especially if Donald Trump gets elected, somebody who just promised you that he's going to do everything in his power to help lower energy costs and make us a country that is pushing out wicked amounts of energy in all directions. Nuclear, renewable, gas, whatever, all of it, hydro, all of it, right? Fucking coal. He loves coal. I don't know. I don't give a shit. I don't really care what we do right now. I just want us to do it because the future is coming fast because of companies like Tesla and Elon Musk. So it doesn't really matter. But again, ignore the commodity super cycle bullshit. The only way that's going to happen is if we go to war. So maybe a little hedge against that. But the funny thing is the people the hedge funds that should be hedging for a war don't give a shit. How do you like that? How do you like them apples? All right. Melissa Tate. I don't know. She related to the Andrew Tate? I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, I wanted to talk to this, okay? Because I see communist rallies being held in Philadelphia. Americans that believe in communism. So I want to point out some shit real quick about communism and socialism. This says timeline on how Venezuela went from being the third richest fucking country in the world in 1992. Around the time I was a freshman in high school, this was the third richest country in the world. And now their citizens are eating out of trash cans. In 5 years after being the third richest, they became the second largest purchaser of the F-150 pickup. In 2001, they voted for a socialist president. For income equality, they wanted to give people equity. Does that not sound like Kamala Harris? In 2004, private health care is completely socialized. In 2007, all higher education becomes free. Look at how much better they're doing. Look what it gets you. You can have an equal portion of nothing. Socialists ban private ownership of guns. They take your weapons away. Does that sound familiar? Bernie Sanders praises that for the American dream, right? They did what we should be doing. 2014, opposition leaders are imprisoned. 2016, food and healthcare shortages become widespread. 2017, Constitution and elections are suspended. 2019, unarmed citizens are massacred by their government. It took only one generation of progressive leadership to plunge their country into a civil war and people eating out of trash cans to fucking survive. Remember that. Learn from this. Don't make this country like that. Fucking Argentina just changed to a democracy. They've been a socialist communist country too for 100 years. They were supposed to be greater than the United States of America because of all their natural resources. They're like the size of our fucking country. And they were destroyed for 100 years. They went from being rich just like this to impoverished. And now they're turning around and heading down the right path. Are we going to go in the opposite direction? All right, happier notes. Japanese stocks have declined for 8 consecutive trading days. That kind of sucks. What could that mean? I don't know. I've got thoughts about it. We'll talk about it later. Hedge funds reduce short bets on the Japanese yen at the fastest speed in more than 13 years. So they're not shorting the yen anymore. That's also kind of fascinating. Let's keep going. Ryan Detrick. Years the incumbent didn't run and how stocks did. So we had to use the Dow back in the early 1900s because the S&P wasn't a thing. So up 46%, down 33%, up 49%, up 12%, up 8%. 4 out of 5 times they averaged 17% in gains in a year when the incumbent didn't run. And the person running for this incumbent, Kamala Harris, is one of the dumbest fucking people I've ever heard. And rough approximations of her IQ would make her the least intelligent president we've ever put into power. So if you believe your liberal ideals are worth destroying this country in the name of not destroying it because you're anti-Trump, fuck you. All right. It's going to be a fun one today, I told you. Seth Golden. Semiconductors. Found support right where you might have expected. A follow-through will depend on investor response to AMD, ARM, Intel, Qualcomm this coming week. We will like not going into earnings hot for a change, and we aren't, right? That's a beautiful thing. And if we actually take a look here, let's just jump over. Sorry, I'm so political today, guys. I'm gonna be like this for 4 more months. So if you're liberal, you're gonna just fucking hate me. I just want to be clear. And I'm liberal too. So I've got some self-hate. All right. So NVIDIA, again, chips are like, right now. They're not doing super great. But I would also say they're not doing that bad. ARM got obliterated. But I think that, heading into earnings, this is a beautiful setup, actually. And I think that it's going to cause us to do quite well. That's my take on this. So believe it or not, that's what I'm thinking. And I think I'll be right again. I'm usually right. Sometimes I'm wrong for a period of time. Sometimes that time can be a year and a half. PayPal. Cantonese Cat. This is my buddy. I like to think that I helped boost him a lot on X and got him started on YouTube. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I like to think. All right, he's a good dude here, though. He does great work, and he deserves more viewership. Everything rally is probably coming. Rates are plummeting soon. The Fed, I don't know if they're plummeting, but I think they're going down. The Fed doesn't matter. They do not lead. They follow. This is in the 2-year monthly chart. The 2-year, he's saying here that the 2-year is going to roll over, and that the Fed isn't really what we need to worry about right now. And you know what? I'm going to shockingly agree with him. You know why? Because we already are. We're already rolling over out of an ascending wedge. And that ascending wedge has a shit ton of room to drop. Now, don't get me wrong. Measured move could just be like down into the 2.9, right? That's a significant drop, though. It could be down over here near the 200 moving average. That's significant in nature. So I kind of got to agree with my buddy Cantonese Cat. I think he's right. And if I did inspire you, you're welcome. And if I didn't, I'm sorry for having such an ego. Seth Golden. Now I get it. So small caps are discounting forward EPS growth. That's earnings per share, in case you didn't know that, which is forecast to accelerate through the year end of 2024. Beans of coolness, beans of coolness. What he's saying is this is a beautiful setup heading into the end of the year for small caps. Seth is a good follow, guys. I've said that a lot. Seth CL. You should definitely check him out. He's a good dude. And if you don't understand him, I can decipher it for you. Goldman Sachs. Transition to an easing cycle can happen with adding a single word that we'd be looking for in the release of the Fed statement coming this Wednesday. Somewhat. I agree. somewhat. It's a powerful word. All right, the Container and Packaging Index, one chart that informs the economy is not decelerating but accelerating, not slowing but growing. I don't care what University of Michigan sentiment says. I care what this index does. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Even though I think some of that could be shipping costs, but I do still agree. Ryan Detrick, I know the scary economist is telling you things about yield curves and the leading economic indicator. That's what the lay means. But just know that the two most important signals I follow both say ignore them like you have been. The New York Stock Exchange advanced decline line at a new high, and credit spreads since no worry. Until these change, stay bullish. He's 100% right. He's 100% right. If these start to roll, be worried. Otherwise, again, this and many other factors are pointing us to going up. Let me see what I'm doing here. Make sure I'm not missing. Luke Automata said, I love, agree. I don't know what that's about, but I agree with you. MB, Jesse, for the reasons you mentioned, Druckenmiller started investing in Argentina, namely in the 5 most liquid stocks. Would you review one of them of your choice? Yeah, I probably should check it out. I want to support Argentina too. This is part of my mission. This is a part of like what I want to do with my life is I want to support innovation that makes the world a better place. Why do you think I invest in Bitcoin? Why do you think I invest in Tesla? Why am I going to invest in Palantir more? I've got a whole share. Why do I want to invest in Argentina? Why do I want to invest in the future in India? I want to do these things. I want to do these things to make the world a better place. If you can make money and get rich and make the world a better place for us all to live in, what's not to fucking like? So yes, I will commit to doing research on Argentinian stocks and Druckenmiller's investment thesis and try and figure out what I want to do. I will do that, MB. Pete, I love the realness. Keep it. I will. It's the only speed I know. Love it or hate it. Decent amount of people hate it. Brian Denali, would you consider any call options for small caps or IWM? I struggle with that. You can kind of do that. There's a small cap like 3X. I don't think it's IWM. Does anybody know what it is? Maybe you could throw it in chat. I don't remember off the top of my head. You could do something like that. I wouldn't do actual call options. If anything, I would do like the 3X lever. If it doesn't go up, you're going to get hit by 3X. But if it does go up, you're going to get that 3X. Personally, though, I am more about owning Bitcoin-related investments, Tesla, PayPal, ArcG, option plays, because they have that asymmetric bet. I like that better. And I still have to update my portfolio allocation. I will do it by tomorrow morning, come hell or high water, probably before the PayPal earnings call at 6:50. Jesse, if you have time, you want to see RKT? Sure, dude, I'll get there. Yeah, I'll get through all these. TNA, thank you. TNA. That's the 3X fund that you can look at for small caps, and that should give you a healthy return. Thank you, Sally and Silly. Oh, that's funny, actually. Some Matrix shit going on there. All right. Let's see. What else we got? Jason. Oh, this isn't older. That's older. Let's say we're done with the U.S. economy part of this lecture. Of today's lecture, Professor Jesse is going to move on. All right, so the 3-month and 6-month auctions, again, these are like treasury type things. The shorter time frames are like treasuries tips. Think of them, I don't know. There's a bunch of terms and they're used for different things. I won't go into all of it, but those continued to roll over, just like the 2 years rolling over, and I think that's a good thing. It's a sign of what's to come, and I think it can be positive. You are welcome, Cody. I added $50 January 2026 calls today in my Roth. I'm excited to see these print as rate cuts. Oh, you're probably talking about Tesla. Yeah, I think they will. Real quick, though, I wanted to jump into the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. So we're still in the dumps, but also we kind of suck at manufacturing and have for a long time. If you want to know if Biden's doing a good job bringing manufacturing back to the United States, look over here. We're at some of the lowest average levels since 2008. So for all of his talk about unionization, all that bullshit, by the way, 10% of employees in the United States are unionized, and the other 90% are doing amazing. Can you guys tell me why that is? How is that possible? People tell me all the time that without unions, we would have like child labor issues and people would be working 80 hours a week without overtime pay. I try to tell them that there's labor laws, that unions were wonderful enough to work to have passed that exist in law. and that those wouldn't go anywhere. But these stupid fucking people tell me that the unions are what's really saving that. And I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that unions just make us uncompetitive with the rest of the world and with companies in their industry, even in this country. And that it's the death of companies nowadays, and that it's a sad thing, and that I'm happy that unions have continued to drop every year that goes by, the percentage of unions in this country. It's a beautiful thing because we need to be competitive, and we need to have a president who wants to bring manufacturing here. Funny story, real Donald Trump, that's what I have to type out next to get him to pull up. Donald Trump actually wants to bring manufacturing here, which is why Tesla is not going to be working on their Mexican plant, because he doesn't want it in Mexico. He wants it in the fucking United States. Now, not every company will make that transition. Chinese companies definitely won't. But it's a good way of saying, hey, we gave you the opportunity to produce right here. We tariff the ones you want to make for cheap overseas and heavily subsidize. But if you make them here, build the factories here, invest money in America, China, which again makes it hard to go to war with us when they're investing in us, right? But it says, hey, this is an even playing field. Here's the problem, though. China can't do that because they can't heavily subsidize the vehicles that are made here to make them affordable. And they can't get the cheap labor, practically slave labor, that they can get in China right now because unemployment is so high. So, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this. China is a socialist communist country. It's another great example of what we're headed towards if Kamala becomes president. So if you like what's going on there and you love the idea of not having freedom and getting paid dick, all in the name of fairness, while rich people like Kamala, if she was president, she would still be flying private jets and enjoying all the luxuries of life, just like Elizabeth Warren does, even though she rails against so much waste. They all seem to be okay with flying in jets. They just don't want you to be in an airplane. Ooh, I'm fun. So did I even talk about the menu? I feel like I did. We're going to call that one good for today. All right, Tuesday. We got Red Book, which is about retail. We've got the Case-Shiller home price. It's all going to be like, home prices are probably going up because it's a liquid market. Jolt's job openings, they're probably going to be around the same. They might even drop lower. Job quits, I don't think will be that high. Dallas Fed services should probably be okay. Consumer confidence, I really don't fucking care. That's Tuesday. Wednesday will get more interesting. We've got the Treasury refunding announcement. We've got ADP employment, all the other mortgage data, employment data, home sales, and the most important thing of all, the Fed. So I'm going to stop here. That's enough of a preview for now. But as you can see, the big stuff is really happening on Wednesday. That's when we'll find out about Fed rates. And let's see if they throw in somewhat. That'll be interesting if they do. All right, Cam Prague. Hey, Jesse, great to hear your pure knowledge gems. Thank you. Daniel Kang. Hey, man, I'm here for you. Sally Vang. Hey, Jesse, thoughts on Amazon? Thanks. I'll pull that up. I'll get back to the stock picking here in a bit. Maytag, I'm not for income equality. I'm for income inequality. I want to work harder. And yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. Man. I'm all for equal opportunity. I'm for that. I want every kid in America, whether they're black, white, or whatever they are, to have a good education and have safety and security. I want that for everyone. Here's what I don't want. I don't want equality of outcome, where you don't have to do dick and get the same thing as everybody else. Because that's not what creates Elon Musk of the world. And if you don't believe that, look at Venezuela. Look at Argentina, look at Russia, look at China as Western money starts to leave. Look at all these countries throughout history that have ruined themselves. And if you're not a scholar of history, shut the fuck up, do some research, and then develop an opinion. Because you don't need an opinion on everything, especially shit you don't know anything about. All right. John Frank. Thank you for the $5. I have Tesla $120 January 2026 calls. Nice, dude. My plan is to exercise them closer to expiration. Just curious your thoughts on that strategy. I mean, I think it's a good one. Here's the deal. If we hit 300, you might want to start dialing out of some of it, right? Because I do think that that'll be a decent resistance zone. And I'll actually pull that up a little bit later here in the Tesla segment, which we're not too far off from. So now that we're done with economic data, we're going to take a look here and just see what we got for the CME. Let's take a look. I can see my counts going down for the number of concurrent viewers, so I'm definitely pissing some people off, so I got to be doing something right. All right. Target rate probabilities down to 5% for July. We're not really expecting that, though. It's down to 100% for September, 90% roughly for one 25 bip, and then an extra 10% for 2. Little bit left over for the potential of 3. I think that's a bit much. All right, we're going to look at fear and greed real quickly here. Then we're going to look at indices, do some comparisons. Now, if we're near fear and I'm up, I don't know, how much? 60,000 just under this one account today, I'm a very happy man. I hope we have more fear. Let's go into the fear, guys. If the fear means I'm making money, fuck yeah. All right, the crypto fear and greed index does this thing ever change? Does this thing ever actually move? We're in greed now, even though Bitcoin just fell a bunch. I know there's a lag in this one, but I just don't know if I can trust this with anything anymore. Really at all. All right, we're going to jump on our segment and go over a little bit of the Bitcoins. Let's talk about the Bitcoins, then we'll get into Tesla. Then after that, we'll start looking through stocks. And you'll hear a bunch of rants from me, because that's the only speed I know. Cody, ARKG, January 2026 leaps look ready to explode. I agree. Maybe we should take a look at that too. Taking all bets, lol. that could be about any of my comments. They're all kind of a lol. Needs 55. Hit the like, folks. Only 5 so far. Help. Yeah, dude, hit the like. Don't help me out. Do it because I fucking deserve it. Hit the like. All right. The Bitcoin therapist. And thanks, Needs 55. Appreciate you. He says the U.S. government just moved $2 billion of Bitcoin only 2 days after Donald Trump promised to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve if elected. Roughly 15% of our existing stockpile. Not that Joseph Biden or Kamala Harris are listening, but I really hope you guys sell this. I want you to let every Bitcoin and crypto person know your true colors and know what you represent. And so please, please, please sell it. Sell it. I would love, just dump fucking all of it. Market order that shit. Drop the price down to 10 grand. Fucking do it. Please to God. I would love to see it. So I would love it. Please do. All right, Mr. 100 just dumped 2,000 Bitcoin. Did he know that the U.S. government was moving the Silk Road stash? I don't know. I don't know who this guy is. Maybe he knew. Maybe he's just locking in some profits because he's done really well. I don't know. All right, this is Bitcoin News talking about making America or Bitcoin America again. And I love that sentiment. This is talking about the ratio of Bitcoin reserve assets for the United States versus all the other countries in the world. And here's what I love about this, right? You could see how little interest we had in like 2019 and you know our reserves. We had a small fraction. The rest of the world was doing way better. We got up pretty high because, again, value price of Bitcoin went up. And now we're going up again, and it looks like we're going to easily blow through the previous all-time highs. And imagine what happens if Cynthia Lummis gets her bill passed after Donald Trump becomes president, because it can't happen before that. Democrats won't have it. But once he becomes president and that bill passes, then we can start adding the other 800,000 Bitcoin that we want to hold. That would be beautiful. Eric Voorhees, I like Eric. He's pretty liberal, and again, so am I. But I think he could be reasonable too. But he says in here, this is Signal. And so let's listen to him and see what he's talking about. He said the DEX, decentralized exchange market share, is at an all-time high relative to the centralized exchanges. That's good, guys. This is what's going to happen with money more and more too. And news, right? Like X is an example of that. Decentralization is the future of technology. Decentralization with verification. It's Bitcoin, and it's the future of everything. If you don't understand that, maybe I need to make a video about it. Benjamin Cohen, somebody who I disagree with on Bitcoin dominance, but who could be winning that argument, says that the BTC bull market support band is showing support. We like that. That usually leads to continuation. Let's see if we can hold it. Right now, we might be under it. I don't know. Pretty close. Or right in the middle of it. Benjamin Cohen also says BTC short-term bubble risk. So this indicator, along with a multitude of ones I follow on a daily basis, indicates that we are not in a bubble. That's probably good. So don't worry about that, especially at a breakout zone. When Bitcoin is looking like this, and it's above all of the previous resistance of the last cycle, and getting ready to launch, you don't want to be bearish. I mean, you can be. It's totally up to you, man. Bitcoin, Dennis Porter said, Bitcoin will make politicians public servants again. Now, there's some nuance that maybe not everybody understands, but when the people who are in government to serve us control our money and what we can do with our time, what kind of foods we can buy, what kind of jobs we can hold, what kind of industries succeed, they're not our servants, are they? We are theirs. Jimmy, buying Bitcoin during a bear market is literally why Bitcoin maximalists have outperformed every investor on the planet. Don't be too short-sighted to make the decision of your life. I agree with that. That's how I got rich. I mean, that and Tesla. Those are the two big contributors. That and I'm good at what I do. All right. Cantonese Cat got another one. And another one. Sorry. Been listening to too much rap music. If breaking above this right angle descending broadening wedge, price target is 91K. He's right. That's my target too. I don't know if he's copying off of me or if I'm copying off of him. But either way, we're both right. So it all works out. Will Clementi, brilliant analyst. I love this kid, man. Can I call him a kid? Maybe he's 18 or 19 now. I don't know. He looks like a baby. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Doesn't even shave. Adorable. Fucking adorable. He said, oh, shit, I lost it. Oh, wait, we're back. He said the quarterly chart looks insane for Bitcoin. 100K plus within the next year. I would agree with this. This is beautiful. This is as good as it gets on a quarterly time frame for any chart. And you can see the cycles. You can see them so cleanly at the quarterly level. It's insane. And I'm sorry to disparage Will. Someday maybe you'll grow facial hair, but dude, it's okay. And even if you don't, it doesn't make you any less of a man. Me, I hate this shit. Especially when it turns gray. All right, Zach. You don't often hear the sound of a crowd on a single... Oh, we already got there. We're done with Bitcoin. Wow, we're just rolling today, guys. Let's move on. Let's go to Tesla. You know what? Let's go to... No. We're saving Kamala. We're saving Kamala because I know some of you don't like my politics. I'm going to drag you through it, but I'm going to try not to do it as much in the beginning of videos. Car dealership guy. I guess I could have put this under Tesla. I thought I did. I guess I didn't. All right, so one more Tesla thing. He said Ford dealers, and keep in mind, this guy is no Tesla maxi, okay, at all. Ford dealers are about to get very busy. Over the past 24 hours, Ford has recalled over 499,000 compact SUVs and pickup trucks. Let's break this down. First, Ford issued a recall for over 46,000 Escape and Bronco Sport models, all the cars they're making money off of. The issue involves a potential for the fuel injector to crack. That's not too bad. That's pretty fixable. This could lead to fuel or vapor leakage, which is, in the same cases, this leakage could ignite a fire in the engine bay. Huh. That would suck. Second, Ford is recalling 450,000 Bronco Sport SUVs and Maverick compact pickups, again, the cars they're making all the money off of, due to potential loss of drive power caused by a low battery. So, as much as people want to make fun of Tesla and the fact that they had to glue this thing on to get the pedal to where the brake wouldn't work right, and that only affected nobody actually was negatively impacted by that. Or the fact that the wiper motor can break, or the wiper could break. Just like stupid, petty shit. But these things will start your car on fire or make it to where it just fucking drives off into a cornfield at 90 miles an hour. So, yeah. Go Ford. My last car was a Ford before it was a Tesla. Piece of shit in comparison. Maybe you've never owned a Tesla and you don't know any better. Anyway, Heisenberg wrote Tesla's first golden cross today in over a year. Last time it did that, name went up another 25% near. I just started Tesla, didn't I? I'm so tired. Anyway, 25%, a nice swingable trade. FWIW. Does anybody know what the fuck that means? I'm old. Anyway, this is true. This is true. We got a golden cross. We've looked at it in a few other slides. This is a beautiful time to own Tesla. What did Tesla do today, guys? Was that okay today? Did Tesla? Somebody last week, really smart guy, I can't remember what his name was. He was saying to buy Tesla when it was down here. And for days, he was saying to buy Tesla down here. And he did that. And yeah, he's doing all right, that guy. And I don't love that it's underneath the fib, but I do like that it touched it. And it's it closed to 5.6%. I can't hate this. This is probably really bullish. And I think it could lead to at least a gap close on the daily to 237. But honestly, I could see us touching up here at the downward trend line around 244. So if you like that price action, you should probably own some Tesla. And you should have listened to that really fucking smart guy for these 3 days last week. Because a lot of people start asking me right around here, or here, or up here. Don't be those people. Because it's annoying to me. When you don't listen to me when I'm screaming from the rooftops, and then you're like, oh, hey, Jesse, should I buy here or should I buy here? Now that it's at 300, should I buy, Jesse? Ooh. Anyway, all right, let me get caught up with chat again. It's been fucking ranting. And we will look at Archie. That's a good one to look at. BTC, is it still a good time to add more Archie calls? God damn you. God damn you, BT. Let's look at it. So I have been saying to buy Archie calls for a while. Yes, I did. Let's actually look at that chart. You might actually make one of my points for me inadvertently, and I won't shit on you too much, I promise, because I like you. All right, reset, price, save. That was just like the perfect segue to this. So again, we haven't gone too high, so I'm not going to shit on you too bad, BT. But yes, I've been saying for a while down here, especially, like honestly, this is probably one where I should shit on myself. I've been saying from right about here to buy ARKG. So I won't trash on you too much, bro. But yeah, in like the 23 range, 26 is still not bad. These calls are cheap in my opinion if you're looking at the 2026s. The 2025s could be a graveyard. I might make all my money back and then some on those, but I wouldn't buy them. We're buying time, right? And we like January of 2026 way better than 2025, which isn't even that far off. These are up 22% for me right now, which is not a lot. They were up 2x at one point. I've just been DCAing into them. I love this bet. I love it. I think it's a great asymmetric play. All right. For what it's worth. Oh, that makes sense. Thanks, Ronald and JJ. Jarrett Bell, for what it's... Okay, and Jarrett. BT, when's Meet Kevin going to post a vid showing he bought back into Tesla? It's coming. And here's the thing. His vid will be like, no, guys, I actually bought back. That was just a day trade, and I actually bought back way over here, and it probably won't show the dates. But he'll justify it in some way instead of just taking the L and being like, hey, I'm a dumbass. At least I'll tell you I was a dumbass. I was a year and a half early to SoFi, PayPal, and Arc Genomics. That's fucking stupid. That sucks. I lost money off of that. But here's the deal. I'm still near all-time highs in my portfolio because I make asymmetric bets going in different directions. And I'll tell you when I'm fucking stupid. And I've got a lot of different asymmetric bets. And now I'm starting to build a hedge with good old TMF. So I'm feeling pretty good about life. But yeah, I make mistakes. Does Meet Kevin, will he tell you I fucked up? This is what I did wrong and actually mean it for longer than a day? I don't know. I like the guy, but he's kind of a dipshit sometimes. Dima. Hey, Elon Musk wakes up every day thinking about what problem he can solve for the people. This is from Javier Milei, somebody who I think is going to be one of the greatest presidents of Argentina's history. Peggy. He asked me to actually go on his channel. I might do that. If you guys think that's a good idea, let me know. He's a good dude. He said Henry Ford once said that all men will drive an automobile in 1913. Fast forward more than 100. Actually, you don't have to fast forward 100 years. Fast forward 10 fucking years, and it's 90% of people. Bill Gates said every computer on every desk and in every home will be running Microsoft in 1980. Everybody mocked him. Everybody mocked him. And you know what? That's what ended up happening. And it took a while. This is a very early call. He didn't really have, like with Tesla, we've got full self-driving today. We've got EVs that are race cars and better than almost all the commercially available cars on the planet today. We have robots getting built today. So this is a really early prediction for Bill Gates. But years later, it would be everywhere. It would be everywhere. So he was right. And then Microsoft ended up taking a large market share of that. Steve Jobs said that the same thing, but talking about smartphones and predicted people will interact with personal computers and smartphones more than cars. Soon it'll probably go back to cars again. I don't know, while we're riding around in them. We'll have a lot more of that for sure. But he was right. And he built the iPhone. And when you went from BlackBerry to the iPhone, you could just see it. So, and now we have Elon Musk. And I don't need to say everything else he said, but I think Optimus says it the best. We're going to be rich. Thanks, Pedju. Hopefully I summarized that worth of shit. Oh, hey, I found the guy. Guys, here's the guy that said that you should buy all that shit last week. There he is right there. For the people who didn't watch my Tesla video, real quick summary. I talked about how, if you looked here, this was automaker profitability heat map showing all the different automakers. The only ones that are really profitable are ICE companies and Tesla. Or companies like Honda, Kia that produce much more ICE vehicles than they do EVs, but also produce, I would argue, some of the better EVs that are out there. I would take these over Chinese models any day of the week, just because of the danger of owning something that's produced in China and what it might be doing with that data. So these two I actually like, but to be clear, if they were just looking at their ICE vehicles, they'd probably be down here, right? And then some people said, oh, but what about BYD? BYD, they're actually, look at them, they're profitable. They're profitable. That's because 45% of their vehicles are hybrids that are basically just really shitty ICE cars that have a small EV motor. And so they sell these to third world countries. They sell them in China. They're just flooding the markets around the world with these pieces of shit. And they're counting them as sales right away after they get built. So once they're built, it's just ship them somewhere. And whether or not they actually sell or not, we'll worry about that later. But to be clear, if you subtract these piece of shit cars out of the equation, these hybrids that are trash for the most part because they're much cheaper, they have all kinds of suspension. They're just really shitty vehicles and not innovative really at all. If you subtract those, they're highly unprofitable. If you subtract the massive amount of subsidies we know they get from the Chinese government, and then the fact that they're probably getting more than that, I would say that this company isn't even close to profitable. It's down here with, again, and Geely, Li Auto, SAIC, Dongfeng, all these other companies. Again, they're pushing a bunch of ICE cars for some of these. But Zeekr, Xpeng, Polestar, Neo, Rivian, VinFast, Lucid, Fisker's bankrupt. But all the pure EV models fucking suck. They can't make any of this shit at a profit. There's very little innovation in what they've done with their actual products and cars. They can't compete against Tesla. Tesla is way the fuck up here. So now you don't have to watch that other video. That's basically what I said. So, and that's just the car business. Wait until FSD really kicks off. Anyway, why was Tesla up almost 6% today? Because Morgan Stanley upgraded Tesla to its top pick in the U.S. auto sector, replacing Ford. You're going to see more and more of this. Analysts forecast a 40% upside with a target of 310. Oh, and Piper Sandler says Tesla might have solved full self-driving. Oh my God, who could have told you this? I don't know, recently? Maybe the son of the Walkie, maybe me, maybe whole Mars catalog, maybe a shit ton of other people. that are like 12.5 is transformational. And I might not have it, but I've watched like 30 hours of footage. It's an exaggeration. It's probably like 15, but whatever. Anyway, reiterates $300 price target. That seems likely. And Brad Ferguson said, I'll say it again. Tesla full self-driving 12.5 was created without the Giga Texas supercomputer cluster. This massive looking fucking video card looking thing, that's not even on. Elon says full self-driving will be available to the Cybertruck in mid-August. Cool. I don't know if you saw this. That's people saying, no way, what the fuck, while they watch a Tesla Cybertruck quietly roll by, beating all other vehicles in the 2500 class of trucks. So if you guys, any of you guys who think my truck isn't like badass, well, I'm sorry, your pathetic little trucks aren't any better. All right, Sawyer Barrett says, here's an official rendering from Tesla of what their new semi-factory in Nevada will look like when complete. Production is currently expected to start in late 2025. Construction has already started. The factory will be capable of producing 50,000 semis a year. You know, Tesla's just doing shit in all directions. Nothing but noise there, right? Sawyer Merritt said the Model Y once again has been named the #1 most American vehicle in the United States for 2024. This includes EVs and gas cars. You guys want to support America. You want to make America great again. You want an America First policy, Trump. Support Tesla. Talk shit about all the other companies and the fact that they're not as innovative as Tesla, and what can we do to help get them there. Talk about licensing with like do things to incentivize other companies to be more like Tesla, because Tesla is innovation in America. Tesla is American made, and Tesla is going to destroy the competitions. It doesn't give a fuck if there's any subsidies. And if anything, it'll do better without them as the other companies fold and get obliterated. Holmar's catalog, Omar says, I went for a 1-hour Tesla FSD 12.5 ride with Futurama King. We tried all his biggest problem spots with 12.36, and it seems to have fixed them all. I'm imagining that guy didn't have hardware 3. And so Holmar's hooked him up. My buddy Omar. This guy right here, he was my first large increase in followers, so I'll forever be indebted to him. Thank you, Holmars. Dalton, he said, the people who don't think Elon Musk is highly focused on Tesla are huge fools. His time allocation is where it needs to be, when it needs to be. He's probably one of the best time managers of our lives in history. This will become evidently clear in the coming months as Tesla continues to make breakthroughs in FSD and robotaxi on 1010. I agree. Omar, what does he say? Oh, did this thing move on me? You son of a biscuit eater. Let me see if I can find it. I hate it when these bookmarks move. Oh, hey, here's a Tesla Model S Plaid that's less than $100,000 beating a car that's 33 times its value. And the race car you're obviously in can't fucking keep up with either one of them. Most American-made cars on Earth, guys. Anyway, that's my Tesla segment. I think I'm done. We got other stuff to do. Oh, I gotta shit. No, you know what? I'm gonna do a little PayPal. And then I might shit on Kamala for a little bit before I go to stocks, guys. Sorry about that. If you're a liberal, I apologize. I love you. I am you. Look, BT said, look, man, I'm up 60%. Good for you, dude. You're awesome. Sorry, it was a perfect time for an example. And actually, it wasn't even that good a one. So you end up winning on that one. Jay Duff, hey, Jesse, could you check out Huma stock? All right, I'll do that in a second. I'll do that in a second. Jesse, can you walk through a little more on your TMF? Yes, I could do that. Dylan, do you have any thoughts on MSTR 10-1 split? I think it'll be a sell the news event probably. It doesn't really matter in reality. It's just noise. Stock splits used to matter because people couldn't buy fractional shares or weren't heavy into ETF related funds. So like if there was a Warren Buffett share and it was like $5,000, you had 3,000, you couldn't buy any of it, right? Stock splits were made to give the poor man the ability to be able to purchase stock. But with Robinhood and other things like this and ETFs, we don't have that problem anymore. So stock splits are just bullshit noise. I would never even pay attention to them outside of the fact that they are sometimes a buy the rumor event. I don't know why, because maybe it's just people that don't know any better. I don't know. I can't justify it anymore. Daryl Farrell, NVIDIA robots just announced. Cool. I don't think they'll do as good as Tesla by any means, and I think Wong knows that, but we'll see. I love the competition. Luke Automata, I agree about Kamala. LGBT and liberal here. I didn't want Kamala. I'm voting for Trump because he loves America as much as I. That's fucking awesome, dude. So you're LGBT and a liberal? That's fucking awesome, dude. I love that. Like, I listen to YouTubers that are trans. I listen to YouTubers that are gay, whatever. I listen to these people and they fucking hate Kamala and they don't like Biden and they look at the world mostly through the same view I do. And the only difference between us is that I'm not gay or transgender. That's the only fucking difference. We both seem to be able to find common sense. So I love that. That's the way more people should be. That's fucking awesome, dude. All right. Pete. TMF starts to move upward and when rates are cut and treasury yields are lower. Exactly, and that's coming, right? So I think the next 30 days is a great time to get involved in TMF. Pete, which according to Tom Lee will be happening. Yes, exactly. Dylan, I've said it before. I'll say it again. No car I've ever owned compares to the Model Y. I agree, dude. You don't have to worry about correcting typos here, guys. I'm the fucking king of them. So I'll just try and fix it. Cody. Thanks, Pete. Andreas. I drove a Kia e-Niro from work for 2 years. Its engine had to be replaced twice. It was a piece of shit. Yeah, you'll get some of that from the Korean cars too. I've known some people that have liked them, but again, it's just like ICE cars suck. They're not going to be as reliable. They've got a ton of components that can break. It's just not the same, and that's where they're making their profits, dude. So like. You said, hopefully I can own a Model 3 one day. Oh, I hope so, man. They're so much better. Yeah, it's going to be, it's great. If you can afford to own a Tesla or to lease a Tesla, do it. If you can take care of a car, lease it. They're cheap as hell, dude. Like $300 a month. It's nuts. So, but you need to own one because you need to know what you own. It's so important to know what you own. I own Bitcoin and I know it. I own Tesla, and I know it. I used Meta back in the day. I hate that company now for other reasons. We might cover some of that in a little bit. But I've owned every product I've ever purchased the stock of. Like, you have to. And I know a car is like a little bit harder. I get it. But you should at least try and find somebody who can go to a car meet and find a Tesla person and talk to them and befriend them and see if you can get a fucking ride. You'd be surprised. I was going to do a birthday party. They found another Cybertruck beforehand, but I was going to do some random-ass 5-year-old kid's fucking birthday party because seeing a Cybertruck was his dream. So I'd do that in a heartbeat, man, because I want to support the cause. And I want that little kid to grow up wanting a Tesla. So find a way to understand the product. Jarrett Bell, buying Tesla calls when it pulls back, selling them as it runs, and converting some to stock, and then selling stock and converting back to longs again when it dumps. That's exactly what I do, actually. I've made a lot of money off of that, but I only do that in a tax-advantaged account like an IRA because I don't want taxable events. But yeah, that's a great way to do it. I do that with the smaller amounts of money, like I only sold 50,000 something worth today. But again, I get to nibble, and I love that shit. I love buying other asymmetric bets and hedges with free money that just keeps appearing every day. So, and then buy the dip. Again, it's just, that's a great way of doing it. Again, as you make money in your calls and as you get closer to your targets, sell some of that, convert it to stock and or cash and or other bets. And then if you've converted it to stock and all of a sudden the stock drops really hard and it just destroys the options, you can look at the options contract. If you're advanced, if you're not advanced, don't fucking do any of this. Just enjoy your gains, okay? But, or you can use like TSLL, which is like a leveraged play on Tesla to accomplish the same thing, but it's for more naive, like people who don't understand options really well. But yeah, you could do that. You could do this rotation that he's talking about in chat and do quite well. And that's what I do. So I'm not going to call it dumb. All right. I'm all for Tesla, laughing my ass off that Cybertruck smashed. Yeah. There's a bunch of cars. Rinse and repeat. Daniel, I appreciate the membership, my man. Goat. Thank you. BT, I'm all in for Tesla and Cybertruck, but I don't like how the car guys now are freaking nerds and computer geeks. I miss the beer. No, I get it, dude. I get it. I like car meets, man. I love cars, and I'm probably still gonna buy. I might even get a Lotus Emira. I've been watching this dude who basically he's a YouTuber who bought cars and he's got rich that way and he drives all of them. He just ended up redoing and putting a titanium exhaust on his Emira, and it sounds sick as fuck. And the Emira is actually like a pretty good drivable car. Don't get me wrong, my Model Y can probably almost beat it with the boost, but still, like these are fun, beautiful cars. So I'm a car guy too. It's just, I'm a technology guy first and foremost, and hopefully we can get some of those beer guzzlers over to the EVs. I do agree with that. Sealess. So when is PayPal earnings? Really? I see multiple. So some people had it down for today. Some people had it down for tomorrow afternoon. It is tomorrow morning. I'll be firing off the show at 6:50. If you guys want to join, just look on my channel and you'll see that it's already out there. You can have notifications turned on to be able to be a part of it. And I didn't talk to Amit. I haven't talked to him much. Hopefully he knows I'm still a badass. If he doesn't, I'll remind him. Maybe we can do something together. All right. JJ, did you see the post about Hardware 3 cars getting 12.5 in 10 days? Yeah, I did. Sorry, I didn't post that, but yeah, so Hardware 3 cars like the one I own for my Model Y will come later. Eventually, once the Cybertruck build gets here in August, I'll be getting it quicker on my Cybertruck for updates than with Hardware 3. So if you have Hardware 3, you have an older car, you're going to get stuff a little bit later. It's just easier for them to be able to educate these machines on the better hardware that has just better data processing, better imagery. Everything's just better, right? So so it's going to be easier for them to build off of the Hardware 4 versions, and then what they'll do is they'll have to grind it out for like a week or two to be able to get it to where they can emulate that same kind of level of efficiency and performance in Hardware 3. So that's just what it is for people who didn't understand that. Ephemeral phase. Interesting. I like the name. I drive too many miles to lease. Will own one eventually for sure. Yeah, and if you do that, you definitely got to have FSD because it's just going to be, if you have to drive a lot, oh, what a blessing. And I can't wait to get the extended battery pack on my Cybertruck because then I'll have 500 miles of range combined with FSD. It's like road trips are going to be so much fun. I cannot wait. Diseased. Test drive a Tesla. Yes. Diseased. I don't own yet, but I test drove the 3 and the Y. They're such great cars. Diseased. Bro, Jesse, my girlfriend's nephew, barely 5 years old, mentions Tesla, laughing my ass off, and I've never mentioned it in their house. When I found out by getting a Model Y a few years ago, by going to my daughter's elementary school in that car, I was mobbed by children for like a week or two. With the Cybertruck at the end of the year, it was ridiculous. Just endless children. They never stopped. They call my daughter Cybertruck Girl, the older kids, and they started acting nicer to her. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So kids get it. Kids love Tesla. They love Tesla. They just do. They're growing up, looking at the stuff he's doing and going, cool. Disease Kodak. Wait, JJ says, I have a Plaid and a Cybertruck. I can't go back. Dude, you know what? Do you know the only thing I hate? I would love to get like probably a Plaid, right? I would love to get an S Plaid. I think that would be fun, but I don't want it. You know why I don't want it? Because it doesn't have steer-by-wire. I can't do it anymore. So unless it doesn't, right? Like I think it does. So unless they fix that, I can't do a Plaid anymore. I want to, but they need to make it steer-by-wire. Hopefully that comes in like a year or two. Disease said, oh, Jesse, on the Roth, can you sell options, stock, and buy options again the same day? No, that gets weird. I have multiple accounts, though. I have Roths that are set up and IRAs that are set up under myself and my wife's, so I can kind of like decide which one of those I want to do. Oh, and that's a conversation I'll make that into a separate video. I wanted to talk, somebody was asking earlier about debt management and how you can use debt to be able to keep from having to sell stock and, preserve wealth and just kind of figure out how to make things most tax advantageous for you. I do think that that's a video I'm probably going to make. I don't know when I'll do it, but I think that that's a fun topic and that's something that people should understand, because if you can lower your taxes and learn how to manage debt, rich people use debt all the time. It's why we have more debt in our country than we have actual money, right? Because debt is a great tool. If you can be indebted at cheap rates and then not have to spend your investments or invest more, and have those rates of return be a lot higher than the debt you're paying, you get rich or maintain rich, and people like that. And I'll make a video about it, maybe today. What do I buy? My second Archie call, one more Tesla stock, or one more Sol. Help me pick the most difficult decision of the week. Well, I'm not a financial advisor, Disease Kodak, but if I were going to purchase right now, I would, Archie. I'd probably do Archie. But that's just me, not you, because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a high school dropout. Rambler. Jesse, what's your queue number for the reservation? Which one? Sorry, which one? I've got a Cybertruck. Are you talking about... Oh, shit, I missed an ad. Hopefully people didn't get cut off from that. I don't know if you're talking about for, like, the Roadster. I don't have one yet because I don't want to drop $50,000 on it. Or are you talking about Optimus? I don't remember if I signed up. Is there a queue yet for Optimus? Do you guys know? I don't remember off the top of my head. I could ask Grok, I suppose. Disease Kodak. I've noticed how dangerous driving while tired is. Dude, I've almost killed myself that way. Driving from Florida to the Midwest in a day. I've been so tired from working a lot past few weeks, and it's super dangerous. Dude, it is. It's very scary because especially if you're on the highway or on an interstate around like a big metro and you're going 70 miles an hour and you pass out and you kill somebody or yourself. Like, that's pretty scary. It's not cool. All right, so I'm going to take a break. I'm going to jump out of chat for a second. I'm trying to do better on chat. So I do want to talk about PayPal. Again, Crossroads, I don't know if he's going to be around tomorrow. I don't know if he's doing something. I think I kind of said I'd be happy to talk about SoFi or PayPal with these guys. But he was posting Q2 earnings. He said it's tomorrow. I expect a 3x beat. He expects a beat on revenue, a beat on non-GAAP EPS, and guidance being raised going forward. I agree with these things. He's got his talking points here. I'll probably talk more about this in the PayPal meeting tomorrow. And then I'll go over, again, here's the link. I'm going to shoot it out there. So if you guys are on X, this is the one you want to latch on and throw an alert on. And I'm not going to talk about the rest because, again, we're saving that for tomorrow. All right, real quickly, before we get to the rest of the stocks, guys, and I will get to them. This is my shitting on Kamala and trying to tell you why I'm voting Trump and get you to do the same thing segment of today's video. If you don't like that, hit pause, wait until it ends, and then fast forward. Steve People said Harris campaign is blocking reporters from talking to voters outside of the press pen here at Whitmer Shapiro event in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Isn't that great? She's so fucking dumb that she's blocking the press from being able to take things. A liberal press that is in full support of her. I don't know what to say. Gabriella Hoffman says VP Harris declared at Randy Weingart's group that she, if elected, would sign the PRO Act into law to rid the right to work in, force union memberships on all workers, and forcibly reclassify 64 million independent contractors as employees. Is this what you guys want? Do you want more government control over you? Whether it be from unionization or reclassification where you're an employee now instead of an independent contractor? Is this what you want? Please tell me. Also, I just wanted to point this out. This is literally showing the media altering what Trump says to take things out of context.
Christians
Now, I have a big problem with this, right?
Christians get out and vote.
Listen.
Just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again.
That's the Wall Street Journal's cut, right? Now, I had a bunch of liberal people giving me this video. Let's see what the truth is.
Christians get out and vote. Just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
Did you hear that subtlety there, where he actually didn't sound like a fucking dictator? Did you hear that? Why did they exclude that last part? Ask yourself. Ask yourself why. This is a great one. Here's Kamala, our future dictator, getting the whites into a room. Not white men. We probably don't want white men, so it's the white women. Let's see what they have to say.
Ariel Fodor, affectionately known as Mrs. Frazzle, to her combined audience of over 1.5 million followers, is here to help gentle parent us through this election.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I am so honored to speak today. I am like shaking to just be among such incredible company. We are here because, as if you were here earlier, you've heard BIPOC women have tapped us in as white women to step up, listen, and get involved this election season. This is a really important time, and we all need to use our voices and influence for the greater good. No matter who you are all influencers in some way. So tonight, I'm going to share some do's and don'ts for getting involved in politics online and navigating the toxicity that comes with it. And spoiler alert, as much as the toxicity can come from the outside, it can come from us too. So first, don't isolate yourself. We can do our best work when we're in community together.
All right, I can't go through all of it, even though it's 40 more seconds. She also says, as white people, we have a lot to learn and unlearn. In a segmented, white women only Zoom conference call to support Kamala Harris, because she divides people up by race, by sexuality, and spirituality. Is that the world you want? Do you want to be divided up? Do you want to be divided up, or do you want to be united? I don't know. I live in the United States, so I'm going to go for the latter. All right. This is, again, talking about the Bitcoin that potentially the Democrats might be selling. Because, again, the optics are even just shitty, because this is the day after Trump says that he's going to make a strategic, like, reserve type thing, right? A stockpile were his words. And they're so tone deaf that they move 10% of the Bitcoin stack, over 10%, like 11 or 12%, the next day, potentially to sell it. But even if it wasn't to sell it, it just is stupid. And it probably pisses off a lot of people that are liberal that want to support these guys. So I hope they fucking sell it. I hope they sell it. Drop the price. I'm going to make a shit ton of money off of Tesla, Tesla, PayPal, ArcG, and maybe a few others. and then I'll just buy more of it. So do it, please to God. That way we can lock in this election. Now I want to show you more corruption amongst big tech, okay? This is showing that Meta is now censoring actual photos of the Trump assassination so that you can't see him. They also, I don't know if it's in here, but there's another one that I posted today that shows that Meta AI is saying that it's fiction. It's an act of fiction. The shooting, it's not real. I would encourage you to look at that. And then we have Google, who won't let you look up Donald Trump at all, let alone his assassination. And if you do look him up, you'll get things about Kamala Harris. But if you look up Kamala Harris, you only get Kamala Harris. So we're having our view of the world be altered by tech companies so that they can influence the election. I don't know what to say. If you don't see what's wrong in that, then you're what's wrong. This is showing big tech, liberal universities, banks, and drug companies bought the last election. These are my words. And I was saying, Elon and the All In podcast and people like you need to fix this election. You need to help support Trump so that he can win, because Alphabet gave 1.7, is that B million? They gave a lot of money to Joe Biden last election. And we're seeing that same thing with the University of California, the U.S. government, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, Harvard, Stanford, Kaiser Permanente. We got the drug companies in here. Morgan Stanley. We got banks in here. We've got Disney. Who would have known? J.P. Morgan, the banker of Pedophile Island. Again, just a lot of these guys are trying to influence our election. They talk about billionaires like Elon trying to influence it by giving you freedom to speak and note whether things are right or wrong. That's the bad guy who's trying to do everything to influence the election, trying to make it look like he's giving $49 million a month to Trump's campaign, trying to make him into the bad guy. Look at the bad guys, man. It's big tech. It's the people censoring everything to manipulate what we hear, see, and think. And they did that in mass last election. I think we're going to give it back to them this election. That's my hope and prayer, even though I'm not religious. I did this one the other day, but let's go out on this note, and then we'll get back to stocks for the people that are still left. Kamala thinks that 220 million Americans lost their lives to COVID. And she thinks that in two different videos.
We're looking at over 220 million Americans who just in the last several months died. We are in the midst of a public health epidemic that has taken the lives of over 220 million Americans in just the last several.
This dumb bitch thinks that 220 million Americans died from COVID. That's 2/3 of the population for you people that aren't good with math. And now I'm done. You guys got my political rant. Now we're going to go into some stocks. Oh, and I did promise you indices too, so the people that are still here are going to get that. Real quick, let's look at the S&P today. S&P up 0.08%. I'm going to take the time to reset this and save that chart. Again, we had a nice little bounce off of the .618. Actually, this isn't a bad place to bounce. Again, we've got all this peak volume, very large volume shelf here. If we can get above that and just kind of trend above it, that's going to look good. NASDAQ outperformed the S&P today by, we don't know how much because I got to reset my chart. Looks good. Perfect bounce off the 100 moving average. This thing dropped like a rock. I would expect to see chips do good this earnings. If they perform, get ready to see the NASDAQ going boom. The Russell, the small caps, the IWM. Tom Lee. Let's see here. Those are a bunch of words. So this, honestly, this is good. The fact that we are really kind of the point of control right here. It's this little zone where it's like all the trading action is. You can't see it because they won't give me volumes on here, but I can visually see it. So the point of control is right in here, and that's where we stopped and found support. This is not a bad area to do that before heading up here and testing higher to the 2300 range, and then eventually turning that range into support. So I like it. Down 1.09% today. So again, it looks like small caps did not fare well against larger caps, but they've had such a great run. I mean, just look at this breakout. This is beautiful. It's okay to take a break. I'm not going to hate you for it. All right, let's see real quick. I do want to check the dollar. Let's get into some of the other stuff for all you people that were patient. The dollar is trending sideways to down, kind of like I said it could do for a while, and will continue to do. The MOVE index, how is our bond volatility doing? Is this interesting? It's still high. We want it to drop, so we'll see if that happens. We'll see what Wednesday does. I think that's going to be a crucial day when the Fed speaks. That's when we're going to see the good stuff. Let's look at the 10 2-year conversion. So again, still inverted and has dropped a little bit like I said it was going to. So not hating this. The yen. Let's finish up on currencies here. Plus I can reset all my charts and get this looking good again. The yen has actually been breaking down. And again, hedge funds are thinking it could break down more. Isn't that fascinating? We thought that this was just going to scream higher. That's what everybody was saying. But it's not. I like that. All right. So the won actually, it looks like it was starting to get better. It was starting to get better and rolling over here. But instead now, we're looking like we want to break out higher. And that's going to be bad for the won. So unlike the yen, which is kind of rolling over, the won is losing the fight. I'm pretty sure I said that was going to happen too. All right. Let's go to the Tesla chart super quick because I haven't really looked at it. No, I guess I did. I've touched on this one enough. So again, let me just jump back here. We're at the 200 moving average on the weekly, and we've tested the fib. This is a great place to be. What I want to see is us get above like 234, 235. Let's say 235, and then turn that into support before we go up to this previous resistance that goes back years, over 2.5, almost 3 years. And then once we start to establish support on this, we'll have had a nice little bounce, and we'll probably do like, I don't know, a flag, something like that before going higher. Or we just start bouncing higher violently, one of the two. All right, so that's Tesla. Again, I'm bullish. I did sell like 55,000 or 50,000 worth today, but I'm super bullish on it. PayPal, how's PayPal doing ahead of earnings? How did we do over here, buddy? Did we close up? We closed up over 1%. Gosh, in PayPal terms, that's practically a miracle. And if we look over here, we can see how I've been saying since March that we're finding support above previous resistance. That is about as bullish as you'd want to get, especially when peak volume is still right underneath of you. So I'm very excited heading into earnings tomorrow. You guys should attend. I think it's going to be worth your time. And I hope that you own some of this, the 2026s, and that you'll benefit from it, or you own the stock at the very least. Let's look at Hood. Hood. Reset. And then we'll get into your guys' stock picks for everybody that's patient enough to remain. All right, so Hood, again, this has been going for a long time. We are 1,100 days, and we still can't get anywhere close to the all-time highs. I've been saying for a while that we're still headed to this 30 to 33 range. That's what's still happening. And I think we've probably found the bottom down here. We just need to get above 22, 30 something, and then that'll look good. And if we turn that into support, we're ready to rock. SoFi, again, I bought like, I want to say 20 grand. What did I buy? Yeah, almost 20 grand worth of SoFi heading into earnings. So I like it. I think it has an opportunity to do well. I didn't like the option plays so much. Like, they're all right. But I don't trust banks. Banks don't have money. So I think of SoFi and any bank as like a dangerous entity. But I do like that we found support on the 100 moving average and the 0.5 fib. If we get above peak volumes right here at like 740, we're just going to explode tomorrow. We could get to $8 really quick, I think, if they have a good earnings and the market recognizes that. I think we would at least test that level. And then that looks beautiful because that turns. So let's just finish the rest of this chess game. So if that happens, then what we're looking at is a shoulder, a head, a shoulder, and then an explosion higher. And if we just plot that out based upon where we're at, it gets us right about where we were over here, which also looks beautiful and like a W bottom, which would launch you even higher to test these key resistance in the $20 range. So I'm not saying this happens. I'm just saying the technicals are lining up really good for this to happen in the not too distant future. So I think people that are patient with SoFi will be rewarded. Let's look at Square. I'm going to reset real quick here. Save this one. And again, we're above peak volumes here. Below it, and we're below the fib, and we're below what should have been turned into the support zone. So this one has been suffering quite a bit. I'm glad I took, the 300 to 500% gains I got on this one and exited almost all my position. It's turned out really good. Now, I have said for a while that I am interested in getting back into it. I hate this pattern right here, though. It's not a great head and shoulders, but it kind of is one. I do think, though, if it elongates out under here, then that's a good sign. And if it starts to bounce and get above, then maybe we're getting ready to break out again. But I just don't love the setup right now heading into earnings, even though I think that this is a great company. And there's some big shakeups happening, and I think it'll probably be for the good. And maybe I'll end up buying more. I don't know. I haven't looked at calls in those in a while, and I need to do it. I've said I'm going to do it, so I need to. All right, so I am going to redraw this line here because what was once a support line through here has kind of morphed and changed over time, where I think you can draw it more like this if you want to be really accurate. So I'm going to save that because, well, actually, maybe I won't lock it yet because I'm probably just going to draw it from wick to wick. Oh, I hate that. Get back here. You get back here. Yeah, right there. I think that's a good way to draw this. It shows like the actual, candle body versus the wicks, and it looks good. So I still don't. Here's the deal. I still don't love where we are right now. I don't love the fact that it just looks like it wants to roll over. Again, we have this problem where even if I redraw this up here, it's just a bear flag. It's just from a technical standpoint, Palantir is going to fall. That's my take. I know that's going to piss off Palantir people. But that's my take, and it's been my take for a while. I sold almost all mine. I made $600,000 by selling it right around the golden fib, probably right around here, right? And whatever, it hasn't even doubled since then. But I made a decent amount off of that because I had calls, right? So this thing went up 167%, and I had calls and made like 600-ish%, maybe more off of them. I can't even remember what the number was. It's been so long. So, but I'm still saying that this is rolling over. We've got bearish divergence across the board that goes back over a year. So I personally wouldn't be super bullish on Palantir right now unless the fundamentals can really drag it higher, which could happen. I just don't love the setup. The technical setup is very much against you. Now, ARKG is a play that had its all-time high almost 1,300 days ago. So that's a long time. That is, what is that? I don't even know what that is. Over 3.5 years, something like that. Yeah. So, and it looks like it's finding support, like I said. If we look at the weekly, this looks beautiful. This looks like support, just kind of like PayPal. Right? And that's why I like both of these. The technical setup is beautiful. And sure, we had a break underneath here for a little bit. But really, it's maintained very well from this trend line that goes back quite a ways. So I like the setup. I'm very excited about the setup. I think it wouldn't be crazy to get to 35 in the not too distant future. And that's like 30+% from where we are right now. So I recommend making that money over a short period of time personally, especially if you have a options play that can give you 3 to 4x that or more. All right. Yeah, so that's ARK. And I'm going to skip Flux and DLO. I just don't really care about them. Let me see what you guys have. Let me check your comments here real quick. I I don't have that on my bar. How do I add that on my bar? I'll figure that out later. I'll just have to roll back through here. So 1 second. I won't be able to look at comments right now, guys, as I roll back to the beginning of this chat to see what you guys said. For stock requests. Celsius. Yeah, I can look at Celsius. And I should probably look at miners. I'll do that too. Because miners have been butchered. All right, so I don't know if I said this before, but we could still drop further. I actually seem to have a line here. So yeah, I think we could drop to 41. We could drop to 41, maybe even the 200 moving average on the weekly at the 37 range. But if we do, I'm going to kill something real quick here because I don't know if I updated this last time or maybe I didn't put it in. But I do want to do something different here. I actually want to draw this the right way. So let me see. Where is March of 2020? Right here. Okay, so we're going to draw the fib retracement so that we can line that up. I might have had that before, but maybe I didn't save it. Whatever. I've got it now. So, yeah, look at that double top. Such a clean double top up here. Just an inverse W pattern, right? Like if we flip this around, invert, I'd be bullish as fuck on this chart, wouldn't you? So if we're bullish as fuck, we're not bullish here. So if you own Celsius, that's my take. Again, I get happier in the 30s. The 30s is a better bet. But it can get to the 30s. It could get to 36. It could drop even further. Honestly, it could go to 22, which would be a huge drop. But yeah, the 30s is probably where I would look to enter if I really believed in the company, but I don't know it that well. So I know they had growth. Is it going to continue? I don't know. Let me see. I'm trying to scroll down through here and find another stock pick because I think I answered some of these as I went too. Uglin, PayPal, SoFi, I did those. Oh yeah, earnings tomorrow. Yep, totally. Let me see, TD Bank, or Canadian banks. Okay, let me look at. I don't know what that was. If you were looking at me to look at that one, I will look at it though. Let me see, TD. If you didn't want me to look at it, I won't know because I've only got the one chat working. All right, let me pull them up here. Toronto Dominion. Okay. Interesting. See, I just don't know about Canada. I worry about Canada. Don't get me wrong. I think that Trudeau is going to lose and maybe Canada's looking forward to better things, but I don't understand all the politics and the nuance. So I don't know what to say about this stock. I'm probably going to just, is that what you wanted? TD Bank, or Canadian banks in general? I can't, I don't want to speak to Canadian banks, Nick, if I could get away with that. I just don't think that's in my best interest when I'm thinking about it, because I just don't know what to say. Again, I told you I'm worried about the banking sector. Same goes for Canada. But I don't think I'm worried for maybe a while. So whatever that means. But I just don't know enough about that industry to really be able to speak to it. Let me see. RKT is what somebody wanted me to look up. Let me do that. I don't think I saved it. Let me go in here. Rocket Companies. Oh, mortgages. Okay. Wow, this has already bounced back really well, actually. That's surprising. From the lows, it's went from 6 to 16 already. That's really impressive. Let's see what Rocket actually looks like. It's already done well. Let's see what it looks like, though, for actual valuation in here. Revenue is just through the floor, but the PE is 63. I don't know why this is so high. I wouldn't buy it here. That's all I have to say. I wouldn't buy it there. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem worth it, unless their revenues are just really going to explode and make that all better. What time is it right now? 4:32. I've done this for over an hour and a half. I might go a little bit further. Let's see here. I might go a little bit. No, I think I'm going to call it, actually. I got family upstairs, guys. I'm going to call it for this. So if you made it this far and I only gave you a couple of your things, I am sorry. Next time I will make this the priority. And I might, honestly, even just do a market recap tomorrow. I've been really driven lately, so I might do these every day. So I probably will. timing might be difficult tomorrow, but I'll get something out, and we'll do another jam session where I'll give you guys a lot more time of this. I did some of that over the weekend. If you guys were around Saturday, Sunday, we got through a lot of the list. So again, and if you want to be able to chat and ask about stocks, join. It only costs $2 a month. You can pay more if you want. Otherwise, I love you guys, and I hope I provided value to you today, because that's my goal. And I appreciate everybody that supports this channel and myself and this community. So again, let's crush it. Let's enjoy good lives. And let's remember too, what Bitcoin is about and what we're working towards in the future. And for that reason, I'm actually going to have this video play one more time, because I think it really means a lot. And if you haven't listened to it, listen to it, because it's deep. It almost brings me to tears when I'm an emotional basket case, because it lets me know what long-term thinking and what fixing our money can do for our future. So anyway, you guys take it easy. I love you all, and have a good day. See you tomorrow morning. Peace.
With time, a seed becomes a tree, sheltering us. With time, a skill becomes a talent, empowering us. With time, a technology becomes a tool, enhancing us. By nature, time gives value to almost everything, yet the very thing our society gives value to, our money, loses value over time. This paradox warps our reality by defying the laws of nature, and it stems from the belief that $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow, meaning money must always lose value. We built our reality off of this model. Time value of money, we call it, but in reality, this is just dogma. Since we can keep making more of it, we end up destroying our own purchasing power. So we put it in stocks, put it in bonds, put it in land, put it in funds, put it in crypto, put it in gold. But we are not oracles, so what do we know? We know that it's hard to get by. We know some people may never retire. Is time value of money a lie since it discounts the monetary value of our time? If time is money, how are they moving in different directions? We're working longer for less, we end up just giving away our freedom. Give up liberty for policies, give up our agency to the authorities. Because when our foundation is built on complexity, we simplify humans by giving up our humanity. Reality check, we've strayed too far from the truth. The world economy's a wreck when 1 + 1 no longer equals to 2. And if life's created from the truth, along the way something got screwed, and we let our own dogma subjectify value. We divorce action from consequence. We defy the law of physics when we make scarcity infinite. We disregard the language of mathematics. So our systems are built in a fallacy. Our society's based in a fantasy. In the absence of truth, we're living in the shadows of our own reality. And that's the root problem. Man-made rules can be broken. As our trust crumbles, so does the progress of our civilization. But one thing remains constant: no one can cheat nature. So why not use it to architect a stronger base layer? The most beautiful buildings engineered based on these consequences. Natural law drives rigor needed to build something enduring, uncompromising on principles that accounts for the flaws. Because when our lives are at stake, the gravity of truth cannot be ignored. So if our monetary systems were designed like structures, it would embody energy and matter, so the money itself matters. An unbreakable limit enforced by costliness of creation ensures the structure holds value for many generations. A rule-based system governed by maths builds a transparent ecosystem that can self-error correct. With no one in charge, no words are taken as fact. Only work from computation can actualize truth of timestamps, and like water flowing off a cliff down the path of gravity, computational energy makes time flow one way only. It is this irreversibility which gives value to our money by upholding consensus and scarcity to create one shared reality. Now the map is the territory. Now we're working with high fidelity. Now money is truthfully time and energy bound by finality. Now we have the ability to manifest each of our dreams and build a world that's much more reflective of all of our needs. And that's the purpose is money, merely a tool to shape our reality, merely a function to harness and express individuality. It's just a way to live freely, just a means for possibility. Because when we build on integrity, we enhance the beauty of humanity. The most beautiful societies are built from diversity of our thoughts that come to life when we're empowered individually. Because when our money tomorrow is worth more than today, we shift from predicting to creating the future ourselves. And when our money grows in value, we grow thoughtful in how we use it. Natural law drives rigor needed to fund something enduring, something truly worth it, something that pushes the sky's limit, something only possible when our real value and consequence exist in boundless virtual dimensions. Imagine potential creations, fueled by monetary life force, lasting for many generations. We will venture into new territories and unleash these possibilities once we learn to embrace the truth of our reality.
I highly recommend finding truth in reality. Love you guys. Bye.